Hey guys, welcome to Kiwi Classics and Customs. Isn't this a beauty? This turned up overnight on a tow truck. I was having some issues starting it. Sometimes it wants to start, sometimes it doesn't. We've got a little electrical gremlin going on here. But another great old classic. So let's pull it all the way in and we'll take a look around. I want to show you this, one of the really unique features, and it was a first of its kind back in the day, is this fold away steering or slide away steering. So yeah, when it's in any of the gears, drive, reverse, whatever, the steering column doesn't move. Put it up into park and it slides away. It just gives you tons of room to get out. So while you're pointing in here, Barry, just check out all of the stainless trim, like right around the dash. It just wraps around right into the back. You've got the huge center console, which again wasn't in that. Not many cars had that full built-in center console. It was an option on some cars around that era just starting, but the Thunderbird was pretty unique with a lot of features. So this is actually part of our starting problem. When all this swings and moves, the wiring's working, it's going left and right, really meant to just stay where it's put, but it has to move with the steering column. So as we swing this around, it doesn't want to start, does want to start, and there's a couple of little sweet spots where it'll start, but the customer got caught out, couldn't find the sweet spot, couldn't get it started, said to heck with it, I've had enough, tow it in. So we'll get that fixed up for him. I don't think that'll be a big job, but it's just a really cool car. It's a gorgeous candy red, and even things like the door handle. The door handle is actually the chrome trim that goes up along the hip moulding here. So it's just got a little recess in the bodywork to grab in behind the moulding and open and close the door. It's really pretty cool. What else is happening with this thing? It's got wire wheels on it, which are not like some of the 62. This is a 61. The 62 Thunderbirds came out with Kelsey Hayes wire wheels, and they actually had some trouble with those. The 62 was a bit heavier. It was getting up around 4,200 pounds, a little bit over, and it turned out they were a little bit too heavy for the wire wheels. And Ford jumped on it when Elvis Presley, of all people, had a bit of a crash under hard cornering, and the Kelsey wheel, the front wheel, gave up, just collapsed. So there's a little known fun fact for you. So yeah, you guys can see there's lots of stainless steel. It's really highlighted by this gorgeous red colour. And a look under here. So this is the first year of the third generation Thunderbird. Came with a 390 is like the base engine. 62 and 3, they went to a 406 and 427 as an option. But 61, you could just get the 390, which was an upgrade from the previous year, which was 352. So same motor, same family, but just a bit bigger, a bit more horsepower. It was always a race back in the day. Like everyone wanted to have the bigger engine, the more horsepower, the different manufacturers. But the Thunderbird was really quite unique. It was called a personal car, not a muscle car. And it came with a lot of standard features that very few cars had. Like it came with power brake stand, came with power steering standard. So while they were fairly expensive in the day, you got a lot of car. So they were really quite popular. That popularity hasn't really held on through the years. The Thunderbird really, I don't think it is appreciated quite as much as it should be. But the market dictates what a car's worth. So here's another little fun thing, that this was a first for any of the manufacturers in 61. They called this a floating rear vision mirror, where it was glued to the windshield. Now that's pretty standard equipment on almost every car today. But yeah, 61, that was all new. People were like, what's holding the rear vision mirror up? Yeah, it was fun. And 61, by the way, is a particularly good year, but you guys can figure that out. Kev's sitting there. He's a bit jealous. He doesn't like any other bird than a kiwi bird. So Thunderbird, he's keeping his eye on it. But yeah, bucket seats were standard. Centre console was standard. It was a whole lot of motor car for its day, and they'd gone to a 4-seater by this stage, as they had with the second generation 4-seater. The first gen was just a 2-seater, but yeah, they had a lot of success with us. They sold just over 70,000 61s, so they're not particularly rare, depending on how they're spec'd. They used one of these in Indy 500 in 61 as the pace car. When JFK was inaugurated, that was 61, and it was the Lincoln slab side that he was in, sadly. But they had a lot of Thunderbirds, and that was because of a connection with the Secretary of Defence was actually also well up in Ford Motor Company. So they scratched each other's backs. But anyway, that's enough about this car. As you can see, it's just really pretty. We're going to dive in, get that electrical problem fixed, and send her down the road. But we'll go for a little road test once we get that gremlin figured out, and you can come along. See you in a few minutes. Okay, so she's all fixed, ready for a test drive. We did find that not only was there a couple of electrical dodgy connections going on down there, but this whole park shifter mechanism around here, this was all worn out, and when you put it into park, it didn't want to stay in park, it wanted to drop into reverse. So of course that was killing the ignition circuit. So we had to get that. We had to get this box, this collar around here, new shifter lever. There's a detent inside. There was a few parts that needed to go into this. Now, surprisingly for me, all that stuff was available off the shelf. So we got that here in a few days, got it all in, and let's take it for a test drive. You certainly know you're in a big car. Cool old cruiser. What a cool old cruiser. Well guys, this is it, another sunny morning in Tennessee, and we'll keep cruising down the road for a couple of miles just to make sure she's behaving and doing everything she's meant to, and we're going to call this a wrap. So you guys have a good weekend. We're going to keep at it, and we'll see you on the next one. See you guys.